hello, welcome back. How are you all doing? I see some people in the chat already. Ultra, hello, Ultra. In my opinion, the blasphemy and apostasy laws in the Abrahamics is reason number one why I don't believe any of that stuff to be true. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Krista Bacon, hello, hello, hello. Steve McRae Manager, how are you doing? I hope you're well today. Unit 666. Hello. Yes. Unfortunately, today's live stream is not going to be one where we joke around, because this is not a subject to joke about. Someone has been sentenced to 24 years because of his lack of belief. And it is sad, absolutely sad. Hello, Danisha, hello. To think that if people like ourselves were in a different part of the world, we will probably be in jail right now, you know. And this is the problem with religion, and why I don't rate these religions at all. I really don't. Just like what Ultra said. Ultra said, you know, is these laws in these Abrahamics is number one reason why he doesn't believe any of that stuff. And the same applies to me too. Why would your God need you to create laws because of your hurt feelings? You're hurt because of the things that people say about your God. It goes to show that your God is weak. Your God is not as powerful as he is. You make him out to be. Hello, Soren. Hello. Because of being for him as I am. Well, I'm alive. That's it. That's it. That's the best I can say anyway right now. Okay. Inquisitor Bacon, you sent me an email. Please feel free to ask in the chat. Inquisitor Bacon plays games, and for those of you who are gamers here, if you would like to link up with him, I don't know, was the game you were talking about, was that yesterday or today? So for those people who want to engage playing games online, why not? I mean, it's something some people are interested in. It's just not my thing at all. I wouldn't know how to play games. I just wouldn't know. Soren, hello, Soren. You're talking about Islam? I'm not surprised. Check the Atheist Republic channel. Atheist Republic channel. Okay, so let me I'm going to warn you all in advance. It's going to be very triggering. Let's see. 1 second. Okay, let me just find the okay, it's just downloading now. Okay, just 1 second, guys. I'll try and find the okay, so we need to take it to 140. Okay, let me share. I'm going to share my screen here. So what you're watching, or what you're about to listen to, is a conversation on Clubhouse. Some of the people engaged in this conversation I know personally, Um, the video is 4 hours long, and it was a talk on blasphemy, and most of the people here are Nigerians, and most of them are against the blasphemy laws. And why should Mubarak be sitting in jail because of his lack of belief? You're going to hear people. Well, so a gentleman is going to come up now. It's about almost 2 hours in. He's going to come up and tell us about his experience with Mubarak. He claims to know Mubarak on a one-to-one. He's going to tell us how stupid Mubarak is, how foolish he is. You're going to hear things that, they will trigger you, and um, you know, for those of you who are out atheists, I think we can appreciate the position that we hold. We can appreciate what we have. It's not a time to gloat. It's not a time to be thankful. Oh, I thank God because not God. I mean, I thank whoever. I'm thankful because I live in a place. It could easily be any of us. So yeah, let's get started because there's quite a bit. In the meantime, connections. What connections? Okay. Blasphemy is a victimless crime. I demand that my accuser present himself at my trial. Exactly. Victimless. Who is the victim in the blasphemy laws? Okay, let's get started. I mean, there's quite a bit to cover here. So brace yourselves, guys. It's not.
That like how you make
Yeah,
some
but what's
statements
the
that are
problem with
blatantly
that?
problematic.
Well, what's the problem
Let
with
me
that?
just address something. Let me
No, I
just
want
address
what's
something.
the
Guys,
problem with that?
guys,
Just
wait,
finish your point.
skip one mic. So skip. Wait, guys, one mic
Because
on
I don't
this.
get what the
Seth,
yeah.
Let
I'm
me
asking
address
like, what's
something.
the
guys,
problem with that? Like
Wait.
skip. You go now. Like it's your turn to go. So 1 second. One thing is sorry because it's like my co-mod, but it doesn't have the badge. It's there, but it's not showing. So do you want to address something? One thing is then skip would take his turn. Thank you very much, Nafisan Shugadeli. One thing is.
It's just echo of what I said last time. Now she's in agreement with his free imprisonment. It is just going through the corners. She won't say it directly. That is why I say liberals are the foundation of extremism. They are the foundation on which extremists build their castle of madness. So it keeps playing right here in our front. You can see her. She doesn't condemn it. She doesn't say anything wrong with him getting 50 years, if not whatever, because it's 45 from what I heard, so never 24. But that's another story. But liberals are.
So before now, a lady had come on, a Muslim lady, and she had said, "Oh, we've got laws, and you've got to follow the laws, whether you're atheist, whether you're whatever. It doesn't matter. There are laws." And the fact that she hadn't even heard the story of Mubarak, but from the conversation in the room, she said, "Well, if he's been convicted by the law, then what are we talking about?" And she was saying that people, the words from her mouth were, "Be guided. You all need to be guided." That when you say certain things about their religion, you can incite feelings in people. The things you say can incite hate, can incite people to take action. So the fault is not the people who are being incited. No, it's your fault. Speaking against Islam.
Also problematic. just like extremists. Extremists will kill you because you're saying for me to say fuck Mohammed, I'm inciting you to come and kill me. You have a problem if you need to come and kill me because I say fuck Muhammad, peace be unto him, so that you know which Muhammad I'm referring to. Peace be unto him, fuck Muhammad. Like it's so funny. Like liberals always keep doing this. That saying by saying such things like what I just said, it's inciting people to come and cause violence and hate and react because I hurt their feelings about the prophet. Do you see what you are supporting the violence? You are supporting terrorists without realizing you are supporting terrorists. With that statement alone, you are supporting terrorists because somebody blasphemed against your prophet that is dead and rotting in the grave. I'm inciting people to come and perform violence on me for saying such words, and you think that is okay for them to react and incite what they do? No, 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 no. You see why religion is a problem, both the liberal and the extremists. It says almost it's the religion that's the problem. You can see the two sides, all of them displaying their acts.
Okay.
Voila.
Thank you very much, one thing. And Mafisa, you never really answered the question. Like you were just like sort of indifferent about it. And I don't think that's still cool. But thank you for your submission. I know I talked about I said religious people. So even those Ishishi, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Sorry for me if I'm bashing, those Ishishi worshippers. I don't know if they're like very, aggressive also. So for me, if you want to touch on that, please come up on stage to speak on your religious beliefs. Thank you very much. Um, the next person is Skip.
Right.
Okay, so Skip would go and we'll take Laolo. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, guys,
Okay.
brace yourselves.
Hi,
This is the gentleman.
defend Islam because I noticed that a lot of people stick to more biases. But before I start, I'd just like to address one of the things Sugar Belly said. So, Sugar Belly, the way you interpret the Quran is actually the same way that Boko Haram does interpret the Quran. I'm sorry, but what happens is before verses come, there are revelations or stories that predate them or come after them. So there's a verse in the Quran that tells people not to pray. And then there's no verse in the Quran that tells people to pray 5 times a day. So if you're going by that, then why do Muslims pray 5 times a day? So for you to bring up Surah An-Nisa, taking just a verse from what was said, this is the reason why it just means that you are interpreting it the same way that they do. Because there's a Surah At-Tawbah, that talks about what happens during war and what Muslims are expected to do.
So, this gentleman, Skip, is a Muslim. He's come on to speak, and he's trying to correct somebody that, what they call those people, Boko Haram, have misinterpreted the Quran to fit their own narratives. So it's possible to actually misinterpret these books to suit their narratives. So that goes to show that the book is not as cogent as it is made out to be, because anybody can use it to suit any narratives they want. If Boko Haram can use your Quran as their standard, then they're not going outside the Quran, are they? No, they're using the Quran. So the problem is not the people who are misinterpreting. The problem is the book itself.
And this is the same surah that Boko Haram have been taking to justify all the killings that they are doing. Now, if why people mostly go to Islamic schools to learn the Quran is because there are stories that accompany them. So one of the scholars was saying just Surah Al-Fatiha that has 7 verses. If you were to transcribe and to explain everything based on what the Prophet said, you would fill up scriptures and put it on the back of a donkey, and then that donkey would not be able to move. So if you want to get stuff on the ayats, get stuff on the stories that came before them and came after them. So this is what is called a part of Islam that's actually called seerah. So just taking literary verses and then trying to use them to justify certain claims. Well, in some conditions they do, but in most conditions you need to have a stories of fighting. So during Ramadan, I'll come back to Mubarak Bala, but I just want to say this. Every Ramadan from 4 to 6 in northern Nigeria, Muslims go to mosque. So what is actually done there is tafsir. What that tafsir does is there's an imam who describes everything, who talks about the seerah, the revelations, and how they've been immediately after someone has recited 2 or 3 verses in the Quran. So most of the time, they could spend 2 hours or 3 hours speaking on just a verse. So if you want to, and then again, it's permitted that you could try to get more read up on the Sirah, then back it up with the Quran. This is how these things work. So with regards to Mubarak Bala, I first met him in 2018. It wasn't 16. I met him in 2018. So anyone who wants to check, we run this thing called Kaba Fest. It was initiated by the First Lady of Kaduna State, Hajia Hadiza El Rufai. So you could just check on Instagram. It's at KABEFEST. Whoever is interested, you could check the pictures under 2018. You could see some of the people we invited, and it was Mubarak Bala. I was tasked with the responsibility of actually bringing him to Kaduna. So before then, he has been an atheist for, I think, two years. That was then, but then he was a closet atheist for quite.
Okay, so this person knows Mubarak on a one-to-one. He's a Muslim. Mubarak lives in this it's a predominantly Muslim area. They've got the Sharia law that guides this place. They invited Mubarak to an event. Looks like it's a Muslim event. And Mubarak at this time was a closeted atheist, right? So I want you to follow the sequence of what this gentleman is saying. He's going to try and blame Mubarak for his the sentencing. He's going to blame him. He's going to call him stupid, foolish, call him all these things, and he brought all of this upon himself. And he's going to tell us the reasons why. But unfortunately, Mubarak has been wronged on so many levels, and it's a shame. It's a big shame. Christians over in Africa, you would think that they would at least rise up and say, no, this is a breach of justice. But no, the Christians have gone silent. You know why? Because they too have a God. If you're not going against the Islamic God, tomorrow you're probably coming against their God. Secretly, the Christians are rejoicing that Mubarak is in jail because, yes, he's an atheist. The only one time that all these religions band together is when they come against the non-believers, the atheists. Then everyone is a believer in God. We all serve one God. Christians have told me only a few days ago, because as this conversation was going on, I'm in the chat. I'm right in there chatting. I could not speak. I couldn't go up to speak, but I was there commenting. And people were saying, if you are bold enough, go and set up a room about Islam. If I'm bold enough, that I can only do that, I only speak against Christianity because Christians are Christians are nicer. But if you speak about Islam, they will come for you, they'll come for your head, they'll come for. These are the Christians telling me that.
Sometimes. So what a lot of people do know is that he had actually memorized the Quran at a very young age. I think it was at 11. He comes from a family where there are lots of scholars and people who believed in the Quran. So one time he went to EBU. He was also a member of the MSS, Muslim. I think he was one of the excos or something like that. So around that time in EBU, he started having doubts. He was telling his close friends, and he had problems with people. So my problem with him is, although that sanctions have been taken against him and he has been imprisoned for 24 years, this person literally grew up in a Muslim society. Now, I'm not backing why him deciding to be an atheist is some of his choice. I don't consider myself as a liberal or conservative Muslim, just a Muslim. Um, One thing you should understand is, although people describe, translate Islam as the meaning to be peace, what it actually means is submission, if you're going by the direct translation of the Arabic interpretation. So it means that submission, that you would submit to the will of Allah completely. So this is where
Okay, two things to note here. Mubarak was an atheist. He had denounced Islam. He had denounced Islam. But this gentleman called Skip says, yes, he has denounced Islam, but he was living in Kano. There's a Sharia law. So even though he has denounced Islam, he's still subject to Islamic laws because he resides in Islamic area. The second thing that he's trying to say about Mubarak, in fact, I think I forgot what I was trying to say. The second point. I will remember. Let's carry on.
Sugar Belly got it wrong again. Although a lot of people consider human rights to, well, yeah, as Sugar Belly.
Right. I remember what it was. He said the Islam is translated by some people to mean peace, but no, Islam means submission. And that there are people in Islam, the people who take on Islam as their religion have declared submission to Almighty Allah. And so, because they have decided to submit to Allah, they would do anything for Allah. So, Mubarak should have known this, that the people he's dealing with have sworn oaths. They've decided that they're going to be, they have decided to submit totally to Allah.
He said human rights should come before religion. Muslims consider religion to go over human rights. Now, that's entirely a debate for another time. I'm just trying to make everyone understand the scenario at hand. And again, you guys could still go on Coverfest. I think there are a few videos of him where we spoke of him. I was also on stage with him and while he was talking about Islam and stuff like that. So when we brought him there, we got a hotel for him. We provided accommodation and food and everything. And he stayed in Kaduna for 3 days. So before he got on stage, I told him this. I said, this is a free space. Now you would express all your views. But before then, you've been making very comments that would incite Muslims, and you understand what it would mean for you. Now, again, I'm not trying to start up a debate. I'm just trying to let you know the whole situation and how it.
Guys, this is very crucial. What he's about to say now is very crucial in Mubarak's case. Don't forget, this guy, right now as we speak, he has started his 24-year sentence for blaspheming against Muhammad. He was invited to a place by Skip, the one who's speaking. This event was supposed to be a free speech event. Free speech event. Mubarak was called to the side to say, okay, we know you're an atheist. We know it's a free speech event, but you have said a few things that can likely incite the Muslims. So, do you think you can put your atheism in check for this event? So your speech is not free at all in this event, okay, Mubarak? Mubarak agreed. Mubarak agreed to be civil. But let's carry on so you can understand what really happened.
Which is, so he said it was fine. I told him, although we have roughly 400 people here, you could imagine that there are roughly 180 Muslims here. So just speak about your beliefs, speak about why you don't want to be a Muslim and all that. So immediately the person, he got on stage, and then they started talking. He was speaking with someone who was a director at EFCC. I think he was one of the founders who started EFCC. We invited him over. So when that person got on stage, the first thing he did was he called my name and said, Ibrahim Gusau, if I had known you were going to put me in a panel with an atheist, I wouldn't have been here. So people laughed and all that. But then he started speaking, the EFCC guy started speaking about Islam and whatnot. Then it got to Mubarak Bala. The first thing.
Okay, guys, did you hear that? So Mubarak has agreed to be civil in this conversation. Then the conversation starts, and one of the Muslim guys takes on the stage and says openly that if I had known I'll be sharing a stage with an atheist, I would never, talking about Mubarak, I would never have agreed to be, he would not even, he doesn't want to share the same stage as Mubarak the atheist. How dare you invite him to an event? Mubarak has been told already that anything you say can likely incite Muslims. The Muslims then incite feelings. And guess what? The man said, everyone there laughed. Everyone laughed at Mubarak. If that was you, how would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? Now let's hear what Mubarak does next. And then they vilify him for this.
Thing he did was, the first statement he made was, I find it very stupid, and I'm quoting him, quote unquote. He said, I find it very stupid why people would always start anything in the name of Allah, and then that is someone who you don't have proof exists or not. Now, if you could, then the place started getting rowdy and all that. So the first lady got up, took a mic, and then she didn't even look at him. She turned to people and said, this is a safe space. At Kaaba Fest, you could be whatever you want to be. You could come and you could speak. So let him talk. This guy talked for 30 minutes. He did not speak on why he became an atheist. Well, of course, he did at some point, saying that he felt there were a lot of restrictions and a lot of things did not make sense to him. But he spent the first 30 minutes denouncing Islam. Now, what you should know is psychologically, now we're talking things in terms of logic. I'm not trying to defend Islam or anything. I'm just trying to let you know that he has been very stupid. So what he did was psychologically, if you always want to get someone to understand your own point of view, whether it's in a debate or anything, you do not start by offending that person. Now, then again, you guys could again argue that why shouldn't you be able to speak and everything? But then Islam is actually submission. So these people have submitted, and then people have lived their lives at some.
Guys, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? Mubarak had agreed to be civil. The Muslims were not civil with him. They were laughing at him. And when it was his turn to speak, the first thing they said that came out of his mouth was, I don't understand why people start conversations like this with Allah. And guess what? the Muslims, they started getting upset, completely forgetting that they just finished laughing at the man. Now, he goes on to speak that the first 30 minutes, he spent his time explaining why he denounced Islam. They were getting angry. The first lady who was there had to quiet everybody down to encourage what's his name, Mubarak, to say, look, this place is free. I'm here and you can carry on speak. Just, for the Muslims, their feelings were hurt. Now they want to control what he says. And this Skip gentleman says, if you are trying to explain your religion or lack of religion to another, do not offend the person while you're speaking. What about the person who is getting offended? Why can they not put their feelings in check? Why is it Mubarak? So it's Mubarak's duty to ensure that Muslims don't get upset.
Points in have lived their lives to an extent, and then I don't think there's any other religion. I'm not sure, but that have its followers willing to die for it as much as Islam. Well, maybe there could be. But
did you hear that? Did you hear what Skip just said? That Muslims have they have agreed to total submission to Allah, and that there's no other religion. He doesn't think that there's any other religion in this world where the followers choose to die for their deity except Islam. Islam is the only religion where the followers choose, because they have totally submitted to this deity, they are prepared to die for this. Guys, these are not my words. These are the words of a Muslim who knew. You heard him earlier on. Guys, did you hear him call Mubarak stupid? Guys, are you guys still following me in chat, or am I talking to myself here? Yeah, Unit 666. We're going to... Mubarak was already in talk with the British High Commission. He had already started trying to go get, I think, asylum. I think it's the British High Commission or the American Embassy. I'm not sure. Skip is going to carry on. You're going to hear him. Honestly, I cannot sit here and tell you I blame Mubarak for anything. I really cannot. I just cannot. That a man is sitting in jail for 24 years. Do you know, in this meeting, quite a few people said Mubarak is lucky. Mubarak is lucky that they did not go for the full what do you call it now? The full course of the law. That Mubarak right now should be dead. That he's getting 24 years. That we all should Mubarak is lucky, and everyone else should go and be thankful.
But I know that a lot of Muslims are willing to die for Islam. So that's another thing you should consider. So he got up on stage and then it started getting rowdy. So it got to a point some people wanted to attack him. Some people were insulting him and it got very rowdy. So the first lady got up again And then she said, no, it wasn't her. There's this woman, Shola or something. She organizes um AK Fest. I think AK Fest is done in Ogun. She's also one of the founders of Kaba Fest. So she got up and then she said, please, please. I might also add she lived in the UK for a lot of years. She's also an atheist. So it got to a point that she said, Mubarak Bala, please, we're here to get your views, what you've been through, why you're an atheist. Well, maybe, of course, you faced a lot of challenges. Maybe your family rejected you at some point and all that. So it was at that time we had a period of sanity for 30 to 40 minutes. Now, what happened was he stated that he was an atheist after he came out. His parents rejected him. It got to a point that everybody wanted to deal with him. He was excommunicated, if I could use that. His friends did not want to be friends with him and all that. So he went to stay with his uncle here in Kaduna. He stayed there for 3 years, and then the uncle was giving him 40,000 naira pocket money, and then he gave him a job. So the job warranted that he went back to Kano. So after he went back to Kano, there was, I think, maybe sometimes after there's this thing that they say, time here once, maybe it did that and all that. But then slowly, his mother started talking to him again. His father was talking to him again. People were interacting him again. He started an NGO, and then he started also an organization for atheists in Kano. They have over 100 members. They were once interviewed by Daily Trust in 2019 or 2020. I really can't remember the particular year, but I'm sure you could get that. So they hold up their discussions every.
I mean, Unit 666, I agree. But in this place, there were atheists there too. They wanted to hear why he's an atheist. How can you invite somebody, come and tell us why you're an atheist, and then get angry when he tries to explain to you why he's an atheist? And you guys are proving to him that indeed choosing to be an atheist was the best thing. Because now you want to attack him at an event for speaking. If they knew they were going to be that upset, they shouldn't have bothered to invite the man. You just let him be. So now, the next stage now is when he first renounced Islam. Then the family, they got upset. The mother took matters in her own hands. They had him locked up. But Skip says, no, he was locked up at home by his mom. So this talk of saying that Mubarak was taken to a mental health hospital to go and be assessed, that's a lie. That no, it's his mom. It's his mom. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's the mom. The mom is the one who locked him up herself. So that's not a crime. You're about to hear it.
Every Wednesday. And they do it in Tudunwada. It's a popular place in Kano. A lot of people know that these people go to these places to hold their conversations. And one, they have not been attacked. Now we're taking the chain of events that have happened, and we're also using logic to this. But then Mubarak Bala kept on going on. Again, I would like you to know at this point, he has been reaccepted back by he has been reaccepted by his family. He's doing well. He has a job. Well, maybe not entirely doing well. So he was making a lot of insightful comments again. So it got to a point that he wanted to leave Nigeria. He went to the British High Commission, and then he was looking for perfect asylum then. I'll tell you exactly what the British High Commissioner had then told him. She told him that considering the way Nigeria is and the way people are, and then they have already accepted you back because he has been in contact with them for quite a very long time. I think it's almost 8 years or so since he was in AB with them. So what she told him was, before the visa grant and everything, she told him you could live here perfectly and then be accepted in the society, since you have told me that your parents and friends have accepted you back. But please stop insulting them because they take it very personally. So he said he would stop. He stopped that for a period of a year, and then he came.
Guys, are you listening to this? From the time Mubarak was in the university, he had been in talks with the British High Commission, trying to arrange asylum to be moved away from Nigeria because it was not safe anymore for him. His family had denied him. He could not get a job. Life was hard for this man. Because life was hard, then eventually the family decided to take him back. So they expected that because the family have taken him back, he needs to be obedient. He needs to not say anything about Islam. He went to the British High Commission. The High Commissioner told him, look, while we're trying to arrange for you to be given visa to the UK, in the meantime, just try and live among these people and not say anything. Just try. So they said for 1 year, he did not say anything about Muhammad. But of course, when these people know your stand, they know these people they would be the ones coming to instigate. I don't know what happened. He went back again saying stuff, but he didn't even say it publicly. What happened? Sorry guys, I don't know. He didn't say it publicly. He said it's on thingy, what you call it, on Facebook. On Facebook. Okay guys, just 1 second. I don't know what happened there. Sign me out of the it's sad, eh? Honestly, I wish they had acted faster, the British High Commission. But you know, we hear all these things. Oh, Mubarak Bala 24. You know, it's good to hear the events that truly happened. What happened? It's good to I don't know, just let me find that video. Just 1 second, guys. Just log me out completely. I don't know why. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Right. Okay. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I had to make sure I got to the very point where we were before.
Psychologically. Now we're talking things in terms of logic. I'm not trying to defend Islam or anything. I'm just trying to let you know that he has been very stupid. So what he did was psychologically, if you always want to get someone to understand your own point of view, whether it's in a debate or anything, you do not start by defending, by offending that person. Now, then again, you guys could again argue that why shouldn't you be able to speak and everything? But then Islam is actually submission. So these people have submitted, and then people have lived their lives at some point have lived their lives to an extent. And then I don't think there's any other religion. I don't think, I'm not sure, but that have its followers willing to die for it as much as Islam. Well, maybe there could be, but I know that a lot of Muslims are willing to die for Islam. So that's another thing you should
A lot of
consider. So
Muslims
he got up on stage and
are
then it
willing
started
to
getting
die
rowdy.
for
So it
Islam.
got to a point some people wanted to attack him, some people were insulting him, and it got very rowdy. So the first lady died for it, and people were interacting him again. He started an NGO, and then he started also an organization for atheists in Kano. They have over 100 members. They were once interviewed by Daily Trust in 2019 or 2020. I really can't remember the particular year, but I'm sure you could get that. So they hold up their discussions every Wednesday, and they do it in Tudunwada. It's a popular place in Kano. A lot of people know that these people go to these places to hold their conversations. And one, they have not been attacked. Now we're taking the chain of events that have happened, and we're also using logic to this. But then
Logic.
Mubarak Bala kept on going on. Again, I would like you to know at this point, he has been reaccepted back by he has been reaccepted by his family. He's doing well. He has a job. Well, maybe not entirely doing well. So he was making a lot of insightful comments again. So it got to a point that he wanted to leave Nigeria. He went to the British High Commission, and then he was looking for perfect asylum then. I'll tell you exactly what the British High Commissioner had then told him. She told him that considering the way Nigeria is and the way people are, and then they have already accepted you back because he has been in contact with them for quite a very long time.
Wow.
I think it's almost 8 years or so since he was in
8
ABU then.
years.
So what she told him was, before the visa grant and everything, she told him you could live here perfectly and then be accepted in the society, since you have told me that your parents and friends have accepted you back. But please stop insulting them because they take it very personally. So he said he would stop. He
Okay.
stopped that for a period of a year, and then he came back. And so at one point, it was in 2020 before lockdown, before a few months or so, I think before he was arrested. So he went to the market and then he was having a discussion with someone. So I think it led to the topics like that came up, and then in the market he insulted the prophet. Now then
Oh
again, the person got up
God.
and they got into a quarrel, and then they got into a tussle, and then people separated. There are people who wanted to beat him, and there are people who were saying that he should be let go, that God will judge him and stuff like that. So he left. After he left, he went back on Facebook, and then he kept on insulting.
Okay, guys. So Mubarak stopped speaking about Allah for 1 year because he had had conversation with the British High Commission. They told him, just be quiet for now until we're able to sort out your movement to the UK. He was in the marketplace when someone started the conversation with him about this subject. And of course, he spoke his truth. But guess what? His truth landed him in some trouble. He nearly beat him up. But some people said, oh no, let him go. Let God judge him. It was after this. Can you imagine how he would have felt? Knowing that these people are about to lynch him. He's gone a year already, not speaking about Islam and Muhammad. Now someone comes instigating. He escapes from the marketplace without being hurt, goes back home. His frustration where he finds himself, the country where he's at. He's not able to go to a place where his freedom of speech is appreciated, where he can be who he is. What does he do next? He goes on his laptop, computer, and shares his thoughts on Facebook. Maybe these people, it was all a plan from the get-go. I don't know. And wow.
These people. Now, regardless of whether you like Islam or not, and I'm not defending my religion, I'm 100% a Muslim. Regardless of whether you like Islam or not, if you consider this and then you try to follow the whole chain of events that have happened before he got to this point, maybe you could say it's unjust to you. Yeah, probably. But then again, you cannot deny that, of course, he put himself into this predicament. Because, and I'm not saying because if you make a case for someone from southern Nigeria, or you make a case for someone who's not a Muslim, that's acceptable. But this is someone who has been in the society, and this is someone who knows how people are, and how much they take these things. So why would you be living in them and then be doing such stuff? That's like a...
So the guy, Skip, says, however you feel, he would always be a Muslim. He don't care what you think or don't think, how you feel or don't feel. He's a Muslim, but he's not here to defend Islam. If the person had come from the South, which is predominantly Christian, then the subject might have been different. But because, what's his name? Mubarak, who has denounced Islam, the fact that he knows about the nature of these people, because he knows, Mubarak caused his own predicament. He knew what the people were capable of doing, but he chose not to shut up. Yes, he was not a Muslim. He should never have been tried by Islamic law. But because he was once a Muslim, he lived in the area, he should have known better. So he brought it on himself. And the Muslims, they all share these beliefs. They might not say it verbally, but they share this belief. A lady had come on earlier on to speak. She hadn't even heard the story of Mubarak fully. But she says, if there is law and you don't follow it, you've got to just accept whatever happens.
That's like actually playing with fire. So from
Playing
him,
with fire.
regardless of where you stand, it is undeniable that he has been absolutely stupid. Again, I'm not here to defend my religion, and I'm 100% Muslim. Now, you could make whatever conclusion you choose to. I just want you guys to know this. And I feel like going forward, there was a discussion we had yesterday with Sugar Belly. It was something about, she was talking about why, I think it was yesterday or a day before, why the Chinese people and other Asian civilizations were better than us. It was because of that.
Hey, Mrs. Ultra. Hello, hello, hello. And it's good to have you here. My good friend Ultra. We're always walking the streets of Clubhouse. Oh, Ultra. Oh, wow. Your wife is listening in. And Randolph. Hello, Randolph. I don't know if you've been listening from the beginning, Randolph. And we're just, these are people who know Mubarak on a one-to-one. We're getting the chronological order of the events that happened and transpired before Mubarak was eventually arrested. We're hearing that it's his fault, even though he was not an atheist, but the fact that he knew about Islamic law, he lived in this Islamic area, he should have known better. it's his fault. He's very stupid and very foolish. Meanwhile, it was the Muslims were instigating things. You heard it, guys. They were instigating a reaction from him. And the moment they got the reaction, that was it. This is just terrible. And if these people think that this makes their religion come across as a decent religion, unfortunately, no. It just goes to show how wicked these people are.
Lack of documentation. The problem with us Nigerians is even the most literate ones, it could be wherever you decide to be. You could see that they are, I don't know, maybe if this is inbred in us, but it's very, very hard. It's very hard. Even in Clubhouse, you could just try. It's very, very hard to find someone who is willing to have arguments on very sensitive topics or controversial topics, and that person is not being biased. Now, the easiest way you could do maybe is as
This
soon as
guy
the
is
person
talking
starts
out of
talking,
his
check
ass.
the name, where the person is from, and then you get to see that
This guy is talking. He's saying that even the most educated of non-believers of Islam, that's very hard to find anyone who is willing to engage in the tough conversations without being biased. Basically, what he's trying to say is you can engage in the conversation, but you've got to say what we want you to say. You cannot say anything that will upset my feelings in this conversation. How do you have conversations like this? Can this guy not hear himself? Is this what Islam is about? Is this supposed to be a one-sided thing? We get to make the threats. We get to be the evil ones. We the only ones who get to be offended. You don't get to speak. You have no right to be offended. You have no right to express your feelings. You've got no right to express doubt. We will kill you. We'll put you in jail. We'll threaten you. We'll do all these things to you. And yet they'll tell you, it's a religion of peace.
this is the views the person aligns from. Of course, you could do that to me, say I'm Hausa, I'm a Muslim, and all that. But then again, I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to defend my religion. Going forward, you guys should understand this based on the topics, based on what I've said. So you can make your judgment, whatever suits you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Skip. I don't know if there's a part of that story where they said they placed him in a psych ward for mental, evaluation or something.
Now he's going
Was it
to
by informed that
deny,
way his family placed him there?
he's going
Because
to
it was
No,
deny
Yeah,
it
because
that
was
someone said he was
Mubarak was
trapped there.
placed
it
in.
was it was a sugar belly. No, it was not. His mom locked him up in a room when he first told her. She said he was crazy because she would not believe why she would have a son who grew up to be a Muslim, was a descendant of Muslims, someone who had memorized the Quran, and then he decided not to be a Muslim.
So
I'm not
how is what you
100%.
said just different from what I said? Somebody said they don't want him
Well,
to be in a religion again. You now claim that person has a psychological problem. Like,
well,
is that
sugar
not a
belly. This
crime?
is the difference. This is the difference. You use the word psych ward. I use the word his mother did it at home. So when you say psych ward, it means like maybe it was a universal agreement by a group of people to take him to where a professional is. That was not what happened.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. But in the interview he
And
gave,
then
So this gentleman is saying the stories that you heard about Mubarak being taken to the psych ward, that's false. That the real events are that his own mother locked him up in a room by herself. How dare you my own child who was born and raised in Islam, decide that you want to leave Islam, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong up there. And so his mother locked him up herself. Meanwhile, the stories say different. Thank goodness somebody will come along later on to come and to put the story straight. These people will lie. They will lie. They will lie in the face of evidence and fact. They will lie.
And
Didn't he
again,
say
and
they
then again,
invited
you
like
guys could.
wait, hang on. In the interview he gave, didn't he say they invited like a psychological professional or whatever to diagnose him and say he was crazy?
Okay,
No, it was his mom.
Sugar Belly, hold on. I know. Listen, the guy
But you're
pushing you is
just
my friend.
you literally just told us that his mother committed a crime. Like she literally committed a
No,
crime
Sugar Belly,
against him.
there's a
Yeah,
difference
but
between
then
psych ward and
Sugarman,
his mother locking him up. There's a difference
exactly.
between psych ward and his mother
Okay, hang on. I'm going to
locking
go
him
and
up.
look up the interview to see whether like because maybe I read
There
it
are
wrong. I'm just
actual
going to look up the
pictures
interview.
of
Okay,
Mubarak.
sorry, one
Fine
thing.
and done.
Sorry, wait, one thing. Do you want to respond? Yeah, 1 second. Sorry, do you want to respond to Skip?
Skip says no, he wasn't taken to psych ward. Actually, let me go and look for that article of Mubarak in a psych ward. It's all over. It's all over the net. You see it there. Huh? And yet Skip says no, that's not the case. His mother, that's it, right there. Right. Let me find the actual article. That's it. From a psych ward. Gosh. Someone gets taken to the psych ward because he no longer believes in Islam. Right, let me stop sharing. Okay. So let me share this one here. That is, let me show you Mubarak in the yeah, this is Mubarak. It says most of my friends condemn me and tell me I'm bound for hell. That's him. That's him at the hospital, well, the psych ward. So the Nigerian 80s faces death threats after release from psychiatric ward. He was forcibly committed for renouncing Islam, and he went into hiding in region where Sharia law holds. So he went into hiding. That's him there. He was a chemical process engineer. Oh, what a waste. Says people are threatening me. I mean, life-threatening threats. He said on Thursday. He said he was too frightened of drawing attention and wouldn't allow an Associated Press video journalist or photographer to come to his hiding place. This guy was in hiding. He said that since he renounced Islam and declared himself an atheist, he has not only lost the trust of his father and elder brother, but many friends. Most of my friends condemn me and tell me I'm bound for hell and that in an Islamic state I will be killed. Blasphemy is a serious thing here. So Bala said he wants to leave northern Nigeria, but first he's trying to reconcile with his family, especially his father, his two uncles, and older brother who beat him up, drugged him, and committed him to the psychiatric ward of the Kano City Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. So the news of his plight came through tweets. that he had sent on a smuggled telephone from the hospital toilet. His only sin is being honest about what he believes. Guys, I think we can laugh, we can joke, but these are the cases that show you that religion is toxic. Religion, if allowed to have its way, would do injustice to people. Let's go and hear the rest of what Mr. Skip has to say. I just hope that he can get an appeal. I don't know. I honestly do not know. And guys, if there's any news coming from all of this, if there's I don't know what people can do, because the trouble now is, where do people begin? I honestly have no clue. We can sit here talk about this from morning, noon, night, but someone is languishing in jail because they're an atheist like myself. How am I supposed to go to sleep at night feeling good with myself? Or rather, I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it, but I don't know what to say.
Oh, yeah, let me respond to Skip.
Okay, let's
Okay,
have one thing. Then you got a one thing because one thing will not speak for long. Yeah. So sorry,
I'm,
you.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
You let one
Wait,
thing go,
sorry,
then
I
you go
found it.
outside.
Sorry, wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. Please,
Okay.
I'll give it to Toby, but I need to correct this thing. BBC News: Nigerian atheist Bala freed from Kano Psychiatric Hospital.
Right.
Mubarak Bala
I was about
contacted
saying that.
activists. Wait, hang on. And there's also a picture of him in the psychiatric ward. Mubarak Bala contacted activists from inside a hospital
Hey,
using a
David
phone
Taylor.
until it was confiscated. A Nigerian man detained in a hospital psychiatric ward because he did not believe in God has been freed. Mubarak Bala was released because of a doctor's strike, which has seen many patients discharged, a charity said. Mr. Bala said he now wanted to reconcile with his family, who committed him to the hospital in Kano, where he says he was held against his will for 18 days. But he said he wanted to leave the predominantly Muslim north of Nigeria after receiving death threats. A humanist charity which took up his case said that Mr. Bala, a chemical engineering graduate, was freed on Tuesday, but news of his release was not made public until he was in a secure location. There are still deep concerns for Mubarak's safety in a part of the country where accusations of apostasy can be deadly. The man's family is reported to have had him committed to the hospital because it feared for his safety after he publicly stated his atheism. So his family did carry him to a psychiatric hospital and imprison him in a psychiatric hospital against his will. That is a crime.
Sorry,
Except if you
Mr.
say
Skip.
BBC is lying.
Yeah,
Except
he's on
BBC
a
is
call.
lying, then bring your evidence for that.
One thing has to go, then you go. But he's on a call. The fact that you sort of did not accurately report this part of the submission, Mr. Skip, and here, I don't even know whether what you shared just now. I can't really
Mr.
verify.
Skip
See,
was being
when he
deceitful.
say he's
But
not
he's
defending Islam and he did that for how many minutes? Like, it brings integrity into.
So Mr. Skip came here and says, "Oh, I'm not defending Islam. I'm only explaining the events." Why do these people lie? Own it. Own your religion with your full chest. Own it. Don't just choose when it's when you defend or not defend it. This is your religion. Own it. Don't we're not stupid. Just own it. Now he's come and given a story. It's his mother. Meanwhile, the article, there's nowhere there it talks about anything to do with his mother. He was trying to reconcile with his father, his uncles, his brothers, because maybe he knows that if he had left, his life would be. Maybe he was, trying to avoid death altogether. I just don't know. It's just crazy.
Question, but I'm not surprised. Anything to defend Islam. So,
No, but he's
is he back?
He's on a call
Okay.
still.
Is he back?
How did he skip this part though? The fact that he did not, or did he not know that this? Because I knew that I read that thing a while ago. So how come he said he didn't know? Or maybe he just did not know.
He's back.
Skip, are you back?
This is okay. Is he back?
But you can go ahead. Okay, it's back now. Skip.
Okay. Let me talk. If he doesn't hear, that's the thing. Is just let me before I forget what I'm saying. This is the thing now. You heard him saying Mubarak was stupid. This is a different version of what Nafisa said, inciting people.
Tobere, post the link. I
Fuck
sent
Allah,
it to you.
Okay.
fuck Allah and all whatever. So he deserves to die because Muslims get hot when you insult their God. This is what we are trying to address. Muslims are the ones that always get angry when their God are challenged and they will physically harm you. Christians will just insult you. Even some Christians will they could hurt you, but their Jesus does not allow them. And Skip has brought the whole thing to forefront. Let's even agree with you that Mubarak was stupid for making noise and letting everybody know he's an atheist. Let's even agree, which I don't agree.
So the guy speaking, I'm going to get him on the channel in the near future. His name is The Ranting Atheist. And he is speaking about atheism. In fact, he's an anti-theist. But his identity is hidden, of course. And he's saying that in Mubarak's case, these people are deliberately hiding the truth from people. And he said something important. He said the Christians secretly wish that their religion is as cruel as Islam right now. They sit there, pretend that their religion is the better, but secretly they wish that they too had blasphemy laws. The average Christian tells you are going to hell because you don't believe in Jesus. How are they different? They condemn you because two people ate from a fruit that their God puts in the middle of the garden. The Christians will condemn you, condemn your actions, condemn the LGBT community, will condemn everyone who does not believe in their savior. Secretly, they wish the same thing too. And that's why you see Christians are not speaking about this. The Christians, they're not outraged by this. It's not their business. They can't be bothered because, all right, we all serve one God.
But let's assume that is correct. Why should? Because he's insulting people's God. That is what we are saying. You guys do not get that. You are proving the fact that your God is powerless and useless. If you have to enact laws to
it's one thing.
Okay.
Wait, guys.
Okay.
It's fucking irritating.
Okay. So ranting atheist, let me tell you this. Tobere, let me just a sentence. Okay, there's this thing you should know about logic. If you are, I get that you're angry, but if you're always trying to make people understand your point, or maybe trying to be logical, insulting them, or maybe calling people stupid, or calling people words like that, will actually make them actually be resentful and not listen to what you're saying. So instead of you trying
Yes,
to make
but they
logic,
should not
what
try
would
to come
actually
and kill me
wait,
because of your
oh
belief. Why should you want to
wait,
kill me? That is where my problem
wait,
is. You don't need to listen to me. Why do you want to hurt me?
wait,
Your
wait,
God.
wait. But if but if you're actually trying to be logical, if
So
you're
be
actually trying to be
logical.
logical, there are ways that you can do this.
There are
Again, Nafisa
ways.
said that there are
So
um
so Mr. Skip the Muslim says, when you want to engage with a Muslim, you've got to apply logic. And the logic is, do not say anything offensive to the Muslim. That's the logic. Because the Muslim has sworn allegiance to their God. They can kill. He said it. Islam is the only religion that the followers are ready to kill for their God. So the logic is, you must dance to the Muslims too. You must not upset the feelings of. So you're trying to pass your point across to the Muslim. You're trying to make the Muslim understand where you are coming from. No, but because the Muslim stands the chance of getting offended, so you have to. The Muslim hasn't got to apply any logic. The Muslim hasn't got to do anything. The Muslim only just needs to get angry and do whatever he wants. But you have to apply logic. Just do not offend the Muslims.
there are videos and stuff on YouTube where people actually have these type of communications, and then they
So
sit
it's your
and then they
duty.
deliberate on.
Mr. Skip says, you unbelievers that don't believe in Islam, it's your duty to go online and go and watch videos where people have decent conversations with Muslims. The Muslims don't need to go and watch videos where they can have civil discourse with people that don't believe in. No, no, they haven't got to do anything. It's your duty, you that's trying to reason with the Muslims. You got to go and watch videos so you can learn how to not offend a Muslim. Guys, please let me know if this is logic. Is this logic, or is it that I'm not getting the logic, or what? Is this how logic works?
Such a matter. So I'd also like to use this opportunity. We're still going to have Kaba Fest in September. Anyone who is interested in coming, it's fine.
No, I'm
Again,
sorry,
I'm not
skip,
trying
skip,
to.
skip, because you
I will
made a
not come.
submission
I
earlier
will not come. I don't
and then
want to
people
get
They're
didn't
arrested.
respond
inviting
to you.
ranting
But
atheists to
now
this
You
Sugar
same
Bear
guys
can
can
be
be
event.
yelling.
arrested.
So one thing, one
Guys,
second, sorry. One thing,
ranting
please.
needs to be careful. They Skip just invited ranting to the same event that instigated Mubarak Bala's problems.
Now. Oh God. So she sent me a link and then I posted it up there if you check. Now you came and said, well, we're not aware of that part of the whole thing, you just maybe I don't know. Because you said, and I can't even, you know, I don't even know if whatever you shared now is accurate because the fact that you missed out on this very important part of the whole story. Like, why should we even believe what you just shared? You tag this person as being stubborn, as being strong headed. He would not like shut up. People were accepting him back, but he kept going and going and going. That's the narrative or the picture that you painted. And I don't even know if that's true. And so what though? Does that mean that I don't get it? The fact that he was being, a bit, assertive did it justify, or now that he's in prison, is that justifiable? So I don't really get
No,
Hey,
let us say
PTA,
stupid.
post
He
hello.
on
was
that.
stupid. He should be in prison for
Okay,
stupidity.
now that he's stupid, now should he now go to jail for that though?
Can you imagine?
Skip, but you know what, before
Go
you
to jail
respond, or
for being
in
stupid.
fact, in this part that I posted, this link here, could you speak to the link? Because
At some point in this conversation, it's 4 hours long. In fact, the conversation went on for about 6 hours, but this was I recorded for about 4 hours. And the moderators in this room, the lady called Tobore and Ranting, I know them personally, because these are fellow atheists, but their identity have to be hidden because they are over in Nigeria. Tobore is she's a lesbian, but because in Nigeria it's 14 years if she's caught. So she comes, she has these conversations, but her identity is hidden. But she has received threats. There are people desperately seeking to expose her identity because she, guys, tomorrow I'm going to do another live stream. And guys, you think that the Muslims are bad? Wait till tomorrow. Come and hear the Christians. So Tobore opened a room on Clubhouse. The title of the room said, "The Christian God is a rape apologist," something along those lines. Oh my goodness. Tobore has received threats from our darling Christians. How dare you open a room about Yahweh, our beautiful, loving God? Oh, they actually it was like court where Tobore was invited to come and speak for herself, come and defend herself. How dare you open a room calling our God, the Christian God, a rape apologist? Are you? Oh my. I've got it. It's 3 hours long. What I will do when I'm done with these live streams, I will put these videos on my channel. So anyone who wants to, you can watch and listen in your spare time. There's a lot to unpack. The people making giving excuses for Christianity and Islam. It's a shame. It's a shame. Ranting atheist, of course, he's the ranting atheist. He's got a podcast where he talks. And he is no holds barred. He goes in. But he has to hide his identity. The Christians are saying the only reason why these people choose to be atheists is because they want to be gay, they want to be lesbians, they want to be this and that. Otherwise, they will still be in our religion. Okay, I think I'm ranting a bit too much now.
you said the mom locked him up. He wasn't sent to the psych ward. So I don't really understand how you missed out on that very huge and important detail of the whole.
And there's a picture of him in
Okay.
the psych ward in that article. There's a picture of him in the actual psych ward.
So skip, please.
Okay. Okay. So I'll tell you this. I know that I've had conversations with him. The fact that he's been there, I have never known. But what I do know, and with the interview that we did have with him, he said it was his mom. So, and I also know about him being in contact with the British High Commission. I know about that. I had no idea on this. And I wouldn't lie, I do not know about it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Thank you very much. So you would respond to skip and then
The next
Eo,
person
sorry,
who's
are you
going
there?
to speak, after he's
Yes.
done speaking, I think I will end this live stream
Yes.
here. So the next person who is about to speak also knows Mubarak on a one-to-one. He's had conversations with him, but he's different. He's not a Muslim, and he's not a Christian, and he's not an atheist. Rather, he's a spiritualist. He's the African traditional spiritualist who worship Ifa, Shango, and the African deities. He's gonna say some things which I want us to take home, which I want us to, so you can understand. Oh, it's logged me out again. So you can understand the impact of Christianity and Islam in Africa. These religions got into this place and desecrated the traditional, the beliefs that these people had. Christianity took over and said, accept our Jesus and get rid of your Shango, Ifa. You know, those, the Muslims came, did the same. Now you have a country that's predominantly Islam and Christianity. Anyone worshiping their own gods before these religions came, they see you as devil worshippers now. Okay. I've got to go back here. Sorry guys, I know today I'm just going off. I apologize. This is the reason why I do what I do. This is the reason why I speak about religion, because I grew up in this place. I grew up here. I did not know what it was to be an atheist. I had no clue. When I was growing up at the age of 20, 21, 22, atheism was not in my vocabulary. I'd never heard this thing called atheism. What are you talking? I never. You were either Christian or a Muslim, or you were a devil worshipper. That's it. So a lot of these things are still like a learning process for me. Yes, I'm an atheist now, but it's like discovering a new way of living, a new way to be, a new way to exist. And every day I appreciate it's like a baby learning to walk and just basking and enjoying in the ability to walk, but at the same time recognizing that some people do not have the same opportunity like I have. Okay. This thing has locked me out of my own thing again. Sorry, guys. I don't know where I have to go and find where we were. The point where that gentleman comes to speak. The African traditionalists. And this is the problem. So the Christians who think your religion is the good one, you don't know the history of your religion, what your religion has done in some places. Your religion has destroyed communities. Your what do you call those people now? The missionaries, in the name of doing good deeds, in the name of doing the Savior's, the Master's will, have gone to these places and done atrocious things. See why some people don't even, when you say Christianity, they just tell you just shut it. They don't want to hear. Just 1 second, guys. So guys, would you the videos that I've recorded, one is 4 hours long, the other one's 3 hours long. Do you want me to put them on my channel? I can happily do that. So it won't be a live stream, it'll just be the actual recording. So gosh, I need you when you one of them, by the time I was done in that room that day, I just felt like crying all day, feeling like, gosh, some people are suffering. In religion is really denying people of the basic human rights. And when I say religion, please don't get me wrong. Don't think that I'm talking only about Islam. Christianity is also a huge problem. in most of these places. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to find the exact spot where we stopped. Okay.
Logical. If you're actually trying to be logical, there are ways that you can do this. Again, Nafisa said that um, uh, there are videos and stuff on YouTube where people actually have these type of communications, and then they sit and then they deliberate on certain matters. So I'd also like to use this opportunity. We're still going to have Kabasat in September. Anyone who is interested in coming is fine.
No, I'm
Again,
sorry,
I'm not
skip,
trying
skip,
to.
skip, because you
I will
made a
not come.
submission
I
earlier,
will not come. I
and
don't
then
want to
people
get
wanted to
arrested
respond
like
to you.
Mubarak.
But now she
You
probably
guys
sent
can't be
me a link.
trusted.
So one thing, 1 second, sorry. 1 second, please now. Oh God. So she sent me a link, and then I've
It
posted it
is
up there. If you
Coco.
check, now you came and
Absolutely.
said, well, we're not aware of that part of the whole thing, you just maybe, I don't know, because you
See,
said, and I
Electric
can't
came.
even, you know, I don't even know if whatever you shared now is accurate, because the fact that you missed out on this
It
very
is.
important part of the whole story, like, why should we even believe what you just shared? You tag this person as being stubborn, as being strong-headed. He would not like shut up. People were accepting him back, but he kept going and going and going. That's the narrative or the picture that you painted, and I don't even know if that's true. And so what though? Does that mean that I don't get it? The fact that he was being, a bit, assertive, did it justify, or now that he's in prison, is that justifiable? So I don't really get
No,
why
let
you
us
want
say
to
stupid.
push
He
on
was
that.
stupid. He should be in prison for
Okay,
stupidity.
now that he's stupid, now should he now go to jail for
So,
that though? Skip. But you know what?
so
Before you
Mubarak.
respond, or in fact, in this part that I posted, this link here, could you speak to the link? Because you said the mom locked.
So, guys, Mubarak is spending 24 years in jail for simply being stupid. There's somewhere in this recording where someone said his only offense is that he's stupid. Yes, he can be an atheist. No problem. Doesn't have to be a Muslim. But he was being stupid in his atheism. And so he deserves. And guess what, guys? It was a Christian who said this. It was a Christian. It was at the start of this the very beginning. A Christian came along and said, yeah, there are laws. If he breaks the law, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So his only offense, oh yeah, he's stupid. But yeah, let him pay the price. And that would teach others. You don't talk about people's God.
Him up. He wasn't sent to the psych ward. So I don't really understand how you missed out on that very huge and important detail of the whole.
And there's a picture of him in the
Okay.
psych ward in that article. There's a
Mhm.
picture of him in the actual psych ward.
So skip, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I'll tell you this. I know that I've had conversations with him. The fact that he's been there, I have never known. But what I do know, and with the interview that we did have with him, he said it was his mom. So, and I also know about him being in contact with the British High Commission. I know about that. I had no idea on this, and I wouldn't lie. I do not know about.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you very much. So you would respond to skip, and then sorry, are you there?
Yes. Yes. I'm.
Yeah, go ahead, you.
Yes. Okay. So, um, uh, Bala is my personal friend. In 2017, I moved to Kano.
I moved to a place called Kabuga by BUK. And so, because I'm not religious, I was looking for friends that were not really religious. So a friend of mine, a police officer, was like, "Oh, I have this friend in Kano. He's from Kano, but he's I don't know if he's in Kano now or he's in Abuja." So sent me his phone number, and so we spoke. When we that was ending of 2017. So we began talking. At that point, it was in Abuja. So we saw sometime 2018, and that was how our friendship started. Now he told me by himself that he was locked up in a psychiatric hospital when he came out and denounced religion. Now, let me tell you guys, at first I was skeptical when I didn't really believe when this policeman of mine, told me that this guy is not religious and all that. I was like, how then can he still be in Kanu? Because I live in Kanu, I could sense the atmosphere. It's really tense, and they don't joke up with their religion, and they have every right not to joke with their religion. They don't joke with it. So if he has that kind of, mindset, how come he's still walking around freely? So that, took me to another level of I was really skeptical, But anyway, we became friends, and I would tell him about my beliefs. I'm not an atheist. I'm a traditionalist, but we became friends. So he told me the story of his life, how he became an atheist, how he was locked up, how his family rejected him, the torture, the abuse, everything he suffered, the rejection. You know, this was what he told me himself, that he was locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Now, I'm glad that Skip had, is come to correct that statement, because I was, and again, Skip, you kept saying that you're not here to defend your religion. You should defend your religion, absolutely. If you're not defending your religion, who is going to defend your religion for you? You should defend your religion, and that is what you did, because what you simply did was to use emotion to justify why my friend Bala, should be locked up. You just, all the long speech you gave is, at the end of the day, you simply just defended why he should be locked up. But in all of this, my point is that, like I said earlier, those who want to practice Sharia, they have every right to practice Sharia. And I don't honestly think, even though I'm not a Muslim, I don't honestly think that it makes any kind of sense for you to come out and say, excuse my profanity, fuck Allah or fuck Muhammad. I think you're insulting people's religion. I wouldn't want anyone to do that to my own religion. And so if you're an atheist, I wouldn't even want someone else to do that to you as well. So we should all find a common ground. Allow people to practice whatever they want to practice. And this is what please just
Okay, so the gentleman, he has a point. You want to talk to these religious people, do not uh, say these things about their gods, right? Then he says, you, the atheists, would not want them to do the same. Hello? What gods do the atheists worship? What? Why would the atheists be offended if you say F? You can't even F their God. They haven't got one that they believe in. We haven't got. Who are you going to be effing now? I mean, come on, guys. This goes to show that these religious people, they get offended on behalf of their God. They have become warriors for their God. Their gods are so weak. They need these people to be offended on their behalf. The Christian God says, judgment is mine. I will repay. Nah, 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 nah. These people take matters into their own hands on behalf of Yahweh and Allah.
just a second. This is exactly what when the Muslims came here and the Christians came here, this is what they did not do. You know, they didn't do that. They didn't respect our traditional institutions. So they went about destroying, burning, and ransacking and destroying our own traditional institutions. They didn't respect us. You know, but
So Christians, did you hear that? When the Christians went to these places with their Bibles, they did not respect the deities these people worshipped. They destroyed all these things because they wanted their own Christianity to take over these people's. The Muslims, the same thing. You want respect for your deity, for your God, but you don't accord people the same respect that you want. Muslims, they say, oh, you can't say this about Allah, but you disrespect others. You tell others to apply logic while you're illogically losing your head. How does this make sense? You can't have it your way all the time. You can't. You can't have it your way all the time. You can't disrespect other people's communities, other people's lands, other people's deities. Well, no, I don't believe in deities, but some people still do. And you want them to accord you respect. It works both ways.
uh, the thing is, I don't think it's actually right. You cannot really want to have an intellectual conversation by saying to someone, fuck, excuse my profanity once more, fuck your God or fuck your. I don't think it's absolutely right. Now, some of us get triggered because we see on a daily basis how they abuse, our own beliefs, and they want us to respect their beliefs. We see how they act movies, demonizing African traditional religion, and they want us to respect their own God, Jehovah
I
or
want you to
Jesus.
respect
So it doesn't make
Jesus.
sense to me. I can't respect your God when you clearly do not respect
Shame on
my God.
Jesus.
But if you want to practice Islam, practice Islam. You want to practice Sharia, practice Sharia. But you can only use your Sharia to punish those who believe in that Sharia. You cannot, use that Sharia to punish someone who doesn't believe in Sharia, like Mubarak Bala. And by the way, Mubarak Bala did not even commit a crime. What crime did he commit? He committed, okay, yes, he abused religion. Did he abuse the religion in Kanu? He did it on Facebook.
On
So,
Facebook.
if he had committed a crime in Kanu, then we say, okay, yeah, you've committed a crime, it's against the laws of the land, against the laws of Kanu. So we're going to charge you uh, based on what the laws of Kanu states. But he didn't commit a crime in Kanu. He wasn't shouting. He didn't have a megaphone and was going about shouting and saying all he was saying about Islam. He said it on Facebook. And I think that so even if it should be tried in court, the Nigerian constitution should be tried based on the Nigerian constitution and not based on the Sharia that he did not believe in. So that's my argument in all of
Okay. So
Thank
Eo,
you.
let me respond to you.
Okay,
First of all, I'd
you.
like
Okay,
to
okay.
thank you, and then
In one thing.
okay, and then I think it's absolutely wonderful to have found someone on this platform again who has also met him. So, speaking on using Sharia to judge him, let's start with that. So, firstly, you should know that the religion states that anyone who blasphemes against the Prophet should be killed. He was given 24 years imprisonment. So, if we're taking it in a direct logical sense, he was not tried based on the way Islam literally said it should be done. That's one. And then, secondly, when you said about I should defend my religion and all that, now I stated clearly.
Hey guys, you heard that. Islam says anyone who blasphemes should be put to death. He owned it with his chest. He said it. So we should be lucky that we still have Mubarak. That he's only got 24 years. Ideally, it's a death sentence. Hmm? Guys, I think I'm going to end this here because, I mean, what more do we want to hear? What more can be said when the Muslims say, indeed, my religion says, this is the religion I've chosen. My religion says anyone who speaks against my God has to be put to death. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Share your thoughts with me before we bring this to a close. So, do you guys want me to post the full length recordings on and put it on the channel? Will you guys watch it? You can take your time to watch it. That's fine. One's 3 hours long, one's 4 hours long. Just different people, and so heartbreaking. Here Christians, here Muslims. It's heartbreaking. Why people go therapy for certain mental illness, but it's perfectly fine to believe in God's. Thank you, Randall. Thank you, dear for human. This was an interesting stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is way too heavy to go ahead and end the stream. That's why I said share your thoughts. Unit 666. Share your thoughts. Let me know. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? This is I don't know. I wish I had a magic wand. I wish I had a magic wand. I know what I would do with it. I would just wave my wand and Mubarak would be free and he would be in the UK with his family. He can walk the streets and just be an atheist. Sorry. Sorry. All hail the toast. That is the evidence for our church of what's the name of our church again? Our Lady of the Perpetual Fleecing. That's the name of our church. Our Lady of the Perpetual Fleecing. She ate it, no evidence. How do you know I ate it? How do you know? Coco Jasmine, how do you know whether I've canonized that toast? You don't know whether that toast is canon now. That toast has been canonized. So don't say things that you are not sure of. And don't take these things out of context. See, you need context. In this, Our Lady of Perpetual Fleecing, we work with the context. Everything I say in my church has a context. If I tell you the sky is blue, the context really is that the sky is red. Or you can translate it to also mean that the sky is green. Depending on how you want to use the context. You know, everyone can use the context however they see fit. Just always have it at the back of your mind that our evidences, our claims in this church here, we work with context. The Holy I said the Holy Peeps. You know what we'll do with this with our church? What we'll do, we'll have several branches. How about that? We'll go international. Let's diversify. So I'm going to need some of you to, some of you will have to become missionaries in our church. Some of you will have to be sent forth to do the master's, to do the master's bidding. You see? So, oh, Dr. Cyrus, hello. It says, how about the Church of Continental Breakfast? Yes, this is a conversation we need to have. It's not enough to just be atheists. I'm an atheist. And yeah, everything's good in the world. We can't all be activists, but we can all be. Oh, by the way, guys, today in London, some people were going to be having a protest in front of the Nigerian house uh, between the hours of 4 and 6, 4 and 6 or 4 and 8. I live quite far away and I've got a 12-year-old autistic child. I can't leave him and go to, otherwise I would have gone. I really wish. So I'm curious. Let me see if there's any videos that have come out from that protest. Um, see if there's any. No, 5 days ago. Mm-mm. There's a protest that's gone on today in front of the Nigerian house. Humanists, the Humanist Association put a call out for humanists, people who want to go and protest in front of the Nigerian High Commission to free Mubarak. I really wanted to go, but I mean, my motherly duties come first before anything else. Every other thing is secondary. That's number one priority. As much as I would love to be there, it is something I can't. Let's see if there's anything coming up from the protest. So the protest, so in response, right, the Humanist UK is staging, it's Humanist UK is staging a protest outside the Nigerian High Commission. The protest will take place from 4 till 6 p.m. on Thursday, the 28th of April 2022. The protests, which calls for Bala's release, will also mark the second anniversary of his arrest. So I'm sure the videos will come out later. I'll find them and I'll post some on my channel. So yeah. Dr. Cyrus, hello. If you want me feelings, scroll up. Oh, if you want your feelings, scroll up. Trying to find your feelings. I don't know what that is. The toast will have its own basilica, like that piece of medieval Not the Shroud of Turin. Medieval dirty linen. Please, guys, don't say anything before Othangelo will make his way here. Othangelo would be here now when you talk about the Shroud of Turin. Afro-humanists, I'm sorry, but I refuse to support atheist churches. What atheist churches? I find the whole idea to be contradictory and counter. What atheist churches? Randolph, what atheist churches are you talking about? I'm not in. Oh, no, 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 no. We are just. Oh, no. We're only being facetious. Uh, we're not trying to open a church. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, I do not like the idea of church. I completely am against the idea. Atheist church? Oh no. This was just something we on here just we just to have a laugh. But that's where it ends. We're not trying to do that. Not at all. Indeed, backup singers, a little sequin. Next year we are doing a pilgrimage to the bakery of the perpetual rising yeast. Amen to that. Amen. Okay, got that. Atheism activism is a topic that is of great interest to me. I hope to get a chance to speak with you about it. Yes, these are the things. What can we be? What can we do? What can we do as atheists? Of course, not church, but what can we do? There's some of us that need help. There's some of us, guys, this is a big conversation. It's big. How about atheist bar and grill? Atheist bar and grill. Guys, it doesn't have to be atheist. You know, when I started when I made my way out of Christianity, I started looking for only anything atheist. Only anything non-religious. It had to be specific. I don't want to have anything to do with any religious people. I didn't want to. But I find myself being exactly like the people I don't want to be like. So now, if I want to find a group, I just find a group. It doesn't have to be atheists only. At the time, I needed these groups for support. But now I think I'm at a point where, I can engage with anyone, whether you're Christian, Muslim, as long as you're not coming for my head, as long as you're not trying to shove your religion down my throat, we can exist alongside each other. Okay. That's fine. It's no church. No church. No church. Because then it becomes a church, then all the other things, attached to it. One person then becomes a leader. Next thing you know, power gets into your head. Before you know, you become authoritarian. Before you know it, you started a cult. And goodness gracious, I don't like cults at all. I do not like. I don't like cults. My keyboard said Chich again. Oh, okay. This is way of activism as well. I met my birth mother recently. Oh, I wish my mom was dedicated like you. Oh wow, how did that go, Kitty E? Meeting your mom after how many years? Wow. Your kids are lucky, Esther. They will be grateful to you down the line, even if they turn out believers of some sort. Soren, I've told my children if they choose religion, listen, I will support them. I will. But the only condition I have is do your homework, find out what the religion is about. Don't just go head in blind, no blind faith. No. You need to know what the religion is all about. You know, you've got to do your homework. And if you choose the religion, listen, I will support you. If my children came to me and said, Mom, I'm gay, I am trans, I am, listen, I will wrap my arms around them and tell them, look, I love you regardless. Your sexuality will never let me love you less. In fact, your sexuality, that's your thing. I can support you. If I need to take you to any clinic, to any therapist appointments, I would do all of that. But I would never stop anyone from being who they truly are. My own children? No. Why would I want to do that? No. I know what I'm saying. Some people might not like it. Polls are for strippers and cross country. Really? Polls are for strippers and cross country skiers. Is that what Sarah Palin said? Silly. That reminds me of Sarah. Oh, Sarah Palin. Okay, that's the quote. Right. Can the basilica be blessed with olive oil from Sicily? That sounds great. You know, they do some nice butter over there, don't they? I can see Russia from my house. Did she say that? I can see Russia from my house. Hey kids, remember that the Shroud of Turin is being renamed to the Shamwell of Turbidity. I don't know how you can look at a cloth and just work out that was somehow proof of Jesus's existence. So absurd. Just doesn't make sense to me. Can the new ShamWow, Randolph, can the new ShamWow wipe up your sins? How about wipe my floor? Kitty E, how about wipe my floor? Wipe sins. That's called grifting. Hello, crab apples. Bodaciously bitter fruits. What a name. Crab apples, bodaciously bitter fruits. Some people are very clever with their names, you know, what they want to be known as. Oh, by the way, guys, okay, I'm going to end this live stream here. Randolph, I hope you're still here. Let's have a quick conversation. Quick one. A quick conversation, and I need to know what your thoughts are. Okay, so I am 22 and I've just met my birth mother. I met her once when I was 19, but it was for a short 30 minutes. I spent a day with her this time and it was awkward. She's Catholic and I'm 8 of 10 kids. Wow. Kitty, I wish you all the best in that relationship. And I have a lot to say, but just wish you all the best and just let us know how you get on. I thought Jeebus hated the gay stuff. Wait, hang on. Dr. Cyrus, he had 12 men around him at every point in time. Is that not questionable? Have all men just hanging around you? Okay. My mom cooked dinner for my first boyfriend and I was 17 years old. The only problem was she was a terrible cook. So he broke up with me the next day. Was that deliberate, Soren? What do you reckon? Did she do that deliberately? Was that deliberate? Okay, let's talk. Quick chat. Right. Okay, I've got 11 of you. This is very important. So you know, when I started this channel, my name on here was the African humanist. But most of my audience are not African. They're from different parts, but just not Africa. My audience, the very tiny amount are from Africa. So I thought, okay, I'll change it to the Afro humanist, right? Because that's more, the Afro is not just specific to Africa only. So I changed it to the Afro humanist. Well, someone left me a message. They reckon I'm being racist. That it's not enough to just walk away from, no, not racist. He said I'm being what was the word that they used? They said I'm being tribalistic. And I am promoting, what was it? I'm promoting among atheists. That because I've chosen the name, the African, the Afro, I'm basically choosing to only align myself with the African version of atheism. And I'm thinking, wow, is that what you think? I still haven't responded because I wasn't sure what to respond. But let me ask the question, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm being tribalistic or racist? Do you think I'm trying to, among atheists, I'm trying to, what was it they said? I'll find it in a minute. So what are your thoughts, guys? Let's hear. African version of atheism. I think so. I don't know. Just some people they can just look at a three letter name and they can work out so many things. Things you never even thought about, has never crossed your mind. Someone can just come and, okay, send you a link in Twitter. I'll do it now. Right. I shall do it now. Here we go. Okay, just 1 second. I'll send it to you. Okay, so I'm sending you the link now. Okay, so link to Randolph. Right, here we go. So Randolph, check your Twitter. Right, Randolph sent. So check your Twitter. So what do you guys think? It's hard to say. I heard Jesus was pretty fond of the Roman baths. That's a good point. I never considered that. I never. The only thing I thought about was, okay, of course, you come on YouTube, you want to have a name. I didn't want to be the African atheist because at the time when I started this channel, I was not confident in calling myself an atheist just yet. Although now I'm happy to call myself an atheist, but not sure I want to be known as the African or the Afro atheist. Never mind. It was Crabapple's name that just got all of that going just now. Here we go.
Hello.
No. Hello, Randall.
we're still live, of course, but thanks for inviting me in. I appreciate it very much.
You are welcome.
How are you doing?
I am good, thank you.
It's good that you've moved on to different topics now, as compared
Yes.
to the nasty ones from the other day. Those nasty people who shall remain. We'll call them Voldemort instead of saying those who shall not be named.
Right.
Team Voldemort, we'll call them. How about that?
Yes.
That'd be so funny if everybody started calling them Team Voldemort. I just realized some people may not know who I'm talking about, so I'll say it was G-Man.
Oh, yeah.
We'll call them Team Voldemort. I think that should be a good code name. Wonder how long it'll take for him to get wind of it if it becomes popular.
And
how he'll respond. So you have something you wanted to ask me about?
Yes. So the name, the Afro-Humanist. Someone reckons that I am trying to. Okay, so they said, so you've left Christianity, you now identify as an atheist, but don't you realize by calling yourself the Afro-Humanist, you're marginalizing and you're being tribalistic within the atheist community. You're only
Really?
you're showing that you only want to identify with the African version of atheism. I'm thinking, where has this come from?
My impression when I see the African Humanist, I know you better as. You've since shortened it to the Afro without doing anything with your hair, but
someone also, it was G-Man. G-Man said, how can I call myself the Afro-Humanist and I've got no Afro? I've got the Afro down there. It's all hidden down there.
But the thing is, I'm only joking about it. That's the difference. Right. But it's when I see the African Humanist, immediately the impression that I get is, okay, here's a humanist who is an African person. That's all I thought. I didn't see anything more than that. And if anybody wants to know more, they can very easily tune into your YouTube channel and see what you're all about. Yes. I don't think it will be confusing to anybody. I don't think you're marginalizing anyone. At least I don't get the impression of that. Stop glamorizing Indiana Jones. He is problematic. I don't understand the reference there, but that's okay. Maybe
neither do I.
That's okay. Maybe Coco can explain it to me at a future date. But
okay.
If somebody has that kind of an issue with it, I think more to a name so innocent like what you've chosen, I think that the issue is more of their own issue. I don't think they are representative of a lot of people, especially coming from G-Man. I wouldn't put too much.
No, this
person very much at all credibility into what he has to say with stuff.
Okay,
like
you know what? I have actually I took a screenshot of the person's comment. Let me see if I've got it. So I will post it on here now so everyone can see this person's comment, what they said. Not this one. Not this one.
And I gotta let you know, I do have to go in about 5 minutes here because I have.
No worries, I'm done myself. I'm actually done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to rush you here, so.
No, it's okay.
I just want you to know so that I'm not disappearing by surprise on you.
No worries. I get that.
Yeah. Just reason I'm looking away is I'm just finalizing the configuration of something here.
Okay.
All right, there we go. So hopefully exactly what they need.
Right, I think I found. Have I found the comments? I may have found it. Let's see.
Oh, so Dean Kruger makes an. I'll just read it. You don't have to highlight it, showcase it. Dean Kruger just wrote that his first impression was that you, Esther, are focusing on African issues based on your name. There you go. And yeah, that's very much in line with what my impression was too. So here now you've got two people who are in agreement with the perspective.
Okay.
We're generally in agreement here. Yep.
I found a comment, and what it was, someone who I follow on YouTube, an atheist who does atheist content, and put out something about why they walked away from Christianity. And I commented saying, I also am an atheist after walking away from Christianity. And this person then came along and said, good. Now, maybe you can also walk away from using labels such as Afro. I also suggest this because it is a way of separation based on tribal, racial, cultural aspects. It is like a form of dogmatism and religion itself. It would be like me saying, I am the European Native American humanist. I hope this makes sense.
That sounds like somebody who's got a lot of ideas about labels and is probably putting way too much emphasis on them being labels. What they're missing is that our languages are full of labels. This is a phone. Just out in the yard is a cat. I had to mention cats so that you get more ratings. This is a YouTube channel. If we don't, there's this idea that we should stop using labels that comes up from time to time. And I find many people have a tendency to go overboard with it. It's just a natural function of our language. If we don't label things, it makes it very, very difficult to identify them, and pretty much impossible to have a conversation that's meaningful and has any utility. And you want your comment? Mark Caesar's comment? Go ahead. I like Mark.
Says, watch out, the Afro-humanist. Randolph is a Canadian, and they use deceptively polite ways to manipulate you. He said not to rush, but I'll bet you felt the need to. Well played, Randolph.
I have to say, I got to say, as a Canadian, I apologize if you felt manipulated. That's not the intention.
I love Canadians. I do.
Well, if you're ever here in Canada, I hope you'll visit my part of town. So
I would love that.
For atheists, and we'll hold a special Canadian atheists get together so that you can be part of that too. That'll be fun. We'll go to the park or something, and just nice outdoor activity or something, depending on the weather, of course. And this, I offer this to a lot of people anyway. It's like, if anybody's coming to Vancouver area of British Columbia, Canada, let me know ahead of time so I can try to schedule something. It'd be nice to meet other people here. So
yeah, we could do something next year. Just
COVID-19 should be under better control by then.
Yeah. So the person has put their name. I might just put it on my community post later on, so everyone can sort of chime in. And
So if Dr. Osiris is thinking and along the same lines of what I just said, is that's way over the top. This describes it a lot more succinctly than I did. So I think this happens a lot. People are trying to discourage the use of labels. What it boils down to, and the word manipulation just came up. Thank you, Mark. It's perfect, because that's what they're attempting to do. They're attempting to control and manipulate the narrative.
Yes.
You identify how you want to identify. If you want to use the word Afro instead of African, that's up to you. You know how best to identify yourself, and I don't see why anybody should be dictating to you how to do it. And those who are trying to do that, I suggest be suspicious of it. Question what their motives are. Maybe their suggestion is that, hey, there's perhaps a different way you could do this. Have you considered this? Or they're telling you what to do. If they're telling you what to do, then I think that's already good reason to question their motives. So, yeah, I just, people are going to share ideas, and you're going to get different perspectives. And the most important thing to remember is that the fact that they're commenting on it means that you're being noticed. So your name's getting passed around.
Right.
The free publicity and move on is what I say when they come up with ridiculous things. Like, obviously that's a ridiculous comment they made. I know that, and I know that in your audience here, everybody realizes that easily. Yeah.
I kind of get the sense, when I read the comment, the first thing that came to my mind was this person is probably a religious person who's just bitter
Now, here's a good
that
deep. Here's a good
the atheists are coming out and representing and taking a stand. I
Yeah.
don't know. That crossed my mind.
So,
Because why would you? All I said was I am also an atheist after walking away from Christianity. That's all I said.
And that's an honest thing to say. I don't see a problem with it. And yeah, there's no pressure to move away from it. Some Christians perceive that there's a pressure from atheists for people to leave religion. And there are some atheists who apply that pressure. I don't, and I know many who don't. And it's got to be up to the individual person to make that decision for themselves. Now, I really like what Soren Alexander is saying here. Many varying perspectives can feed into a political social identity. Tribalism is when there is only a single perspective, and that's it, the single perspective thing. And that comes from one God ruling everything, no other gods. It's kind of, you see the kind of the parallel being drawn there. This is a deep and important perspective that Soren is sharing here. And it's kind of a shortcut to recognizing the more subtle manipulation attempts. And this is one thing that I like to do. One of the reasons in debates that I'll bring up a question, when they're talking about whether a god exists or not, and I'll raise, have you considered a goddess or multiple deities? Because I'm trying to bring out, what I'm trying to do is counter their attempt at what Soren is highlighting there. And it is that they're trying to limit our options for what we're perceiving so that they can say, all right, from their perspective, they only have to eliminate no gods, and then it's got to be one god. So I'll say, what about these others? Now, suddenly, they've got a whole bunch of different things they have to counter, not just one thing. And people will also have more things to consider. So if we have 4 different perspectives to consider instead of 2, then some people will put a weight on it. Each of them is 25% instead of 50-50. And I think this is not a bad way to look at things, because if you have different things to consider, you can get a wider purview of what the options can be. And then it can also help to put in perspective this one that this person's trying to sell to you as, hey, this is only worth 25% instead of 50%. Maybe I don't have to make it as important as they're making it. It's easier to justify writing it off if we need to. So
anyways, I have just guys, check my community tab. I've just put the thing, it's on there. So please guys, put your 2 cents. Let's keep this conversation. I'm not bothered by what this person thinks.
Good. Thank him for the free
what they
advertising.
think. But I just want to make sure that my subscribers don't think that.
Well, I don't. I don't represent all your subscribers, but I don't. And a few other subscribers have already pointed out that they're in agreement that they don't see it as a problem either. So, I think asking other people is a really smart thing to do on your part, and you're asking your audience. I don't think you can go wrong with that. But it's good to not just limit to your audience. Ask other people as well if you like.
I mean,
it's obvious the way they phrased it is an attempt to be manipulative, though, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah, and this channel is not just about myself.
Yeah.
There's all of us, and that's why we engage in conversations. I mean, I usually open up the room and we engage. It's not just about me. Yes, I might be the one here doing most of the talking, but it's about each and every one of us.
So, your streams are so much fun, especially you got those crazy preachers from time to time.
There's more. Listen, I have a very long supply of it. It's just never ending. It's never ending.
I'm on the clock. I have to be out of here in 2 minutes. So
I've got
thank
to
you
go
very much. And Ricardo, the point just before this one, these religious or hungry bigots are out of pocket. That's an interesting comment to explore. I guess it's reference to their money. Yeah, they're wanting to earn more. So I'll just say thank you, everybody who's tuned in today. And thank you, Esther, for running these streams.
And you know, I mean, we mustn't forget there's someone 24 years behind bars for something that we get freely. You know, this is an ongoing conversation. It doesn't end here, and we'll see what happens with Mubarak Bala. I mean, we'll keep on.
What's happened there is an atrocious human rights violation. It's abhorrent. It should not be happening today anywhere in the world. It is disgusting, and I'm fully with you with your sentiments about how horrible it is. So thank you for speaking up about it.
Thank you. Right, Randolph. See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. All my stuff here. In any movement, the shift towards strict orthodoxy is the primary signal of an extreme tribalism. Absolutely. Relating religion to politics. Religion has one perspective only, very similar to communism. While communism is an ideal system, communism doesn't work, although it is very strong. Right. I agree. Esther, please react to Mormonism and origins of Black people. Oh, trigger. Coco Jasmine, that I saw a video. It really upset me. It really upset me. But because you asked, watch this space. Mormonism is madness. I really don't know a lot about Mormonism. I really do not. I think it was my dad or someone, my family nearly converted to Mormonism, I think, many years ago. But it is what it is. All right, guys. I've been here nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thank you all very much for listening, as usual. And I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time. So please, guys, check my community tab. You will see the comment someone left me about my name. So three words, but somehow they can make such huge assumptions about a three-worded name. I don't know how people do this. They just go see so and just start to make all these weird assumptions and comments and guys. Marxism, polygamy become tribalistic. Feminism in the US. I feel a lot of women in the 70s because it was pushed into a political orthodoxy. Okay. Right, guys. Good night. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, guys? Thank you. See you tomorrow.